Good evening, and welcome to part one of the epic saga that is Princess Coleslaw. Here it is. As you can see, this cover art is a masterpiece. Natalie thinks it looks like her.
Exactly. Imagine me with the crown.
This is Natalie Keyser.
Hi.
And this is Lane Richens. Princess Coleslaw is surprisingly long for a fourth grade writing.
Oh, it's fourth grade.
Oh, I've been telling everyone you wrote it when you were in third grade.
Yes,
Third
that's
or
what
fourth.
I've heard.
I honestly don't remember, but I remember
It
writing
seems like it's a third grade work to me.
Now, before we begin, I just really want to point out that when I was writing this, I remember that it took me days to pick the right font. And
I mean, the font's a serious thing.
if you can see this, it's very difficult to read. It's, in fact, probably the worst font I could have chosen, other than Wingding.
Yeah, we're not talking
like
about
it,
the grammatical errors
No,
of which
thanks,
there
you
are.
guys.
Do you like how Lane's like, there's a lot of grammatical errors? She was in third grade. God, you're annoying.
Jesus. All right, let's just start, okay? All right, so we begin. Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a king and queen. The queen wanted a child so badly, but alas, it would not happen. One day, an old beggar woman came to the castle.
Please, may I have some food and drink?
She
Oh.
pleaded,
No!
yelled the king.
You smell like rats.
Oh, you may come in and eat and drink all you want.
Said the queen, ignoring her husband. So she came in and ate all she could, while the king sat in the corner pouting. After she ate, she called the king and queen over to her.
I know you want a child,
She said.
I also know you are lonely without one.
This is her Katharine Hepburn impersonation.
It is spot. Katharine Hepburn would have played this role in the movie were she not deceased.
Gee! I wonder how you can fit all that info.
Started the king.
It's information, not info.
Said the queen, interrupting.
Whatever.
Said the king.
Now, as I was saying, I wonder how you can fit all that information into such a small head.
Guys, it is apparent that my sense of humor was being birthed at this moment.
And hasn't grown since.
Ah, yes, sure, I am going to give you a child if you want one.
Said the woman.
Nice word.
Yes, said the queen. So it was all settled.
Done deal.
But-
Done and done.
Guys, but the king still refused.
He didn't like it.
2 months later, a princess was born.
This is
Oh,
what I
that's the
like, a
part that
gestation period. So
Like
either,
the-
like, the person that wrote this doesn't understand the gestation period of a normal human being.
Who knows that in third grade?
in this scenario, the princess has, or the queen has a updated
I think you've also
gestation
established
period.
that it's magical. I mean, like,
Yeah,
this
magical,
is
like,
faraway kingdom.
like this,
A
this
person-
baker woman didn't stick her dick in this queen and impregnate her.
That's
That's
right.
true. She
Like,
touched
it's
her, and
magical.
2 months later, a princess was born.
Yeah.
Everyone thought she was so beautiful. Then, the king got an idea of how to trick his daughter because he hated her.
Correct.
He would pretend to be dead, and he would trick the princess into running away somehow when he was dead. And then he would dress up as a prince and then trick the princess into marrying him. And then he would take off his disguise and say, "Ha!"
This is what I like. The stakes so high.
I like that
He's
he wants to
working
marry his
towards
daughter.
ha.
This is the moment when I was like, someone's got daddy issues. And
Well, yeah.
it's baby
Lo
Olivia.
and behold,
I turned out great! Of course, he would do it when she was older. Let's clarify. Because right now she's a newborn.
this is so cool.
Chuckled the king. The next few days, the king was drawing out plans and mumbling to himself about how cool it is.
So cool. How cool is this?
Are you feeling okay, dear?
Asked the queen one day.
I'm feeling better than ever.
He replied. When the princess was only 7 years old is when the story really begins.
And that could be like 18 months later.
And you never know.
The way a 2 months gestation period, she's 7 when she's 2.
It was a warm day in the middle of July, and the whole family was outside swimming and sipping tall glasses of fizzy lemonade. The king had almost forgot his plan when a little voice inside him said,
"Wake up, you idiot. You're
the wrong
possessive, singular possessive. You're supposed to trick the little jerk in the swimming pool."
The king jumped up and tried to run into the house, but the princess blocked his way.
"Where are you going, Daddy?"
she asked.
"Going to get more lemonade,"
he said. Then the little voice came into his head again.
"Come on, just fall down dead in front of the creek. Duh."
Now, to clarify, that was me trying to spell duh.
But it's spelled D-A.
But it says duh. So the king fell down, and the princess ran away screaming. The next thing he knew, he was in a coffin in the dining room. That's supposed to be
I love it.
Dining
Just
room.
keep it.
Okay. Late that night, when everything was dead calm, the princess came and sat down next to the coffin. The king had everything planned out. He pushed the lid off the coffin and stood up.
"Princess Coleslaw,"
he said.
"I am now going to haunt this house."
"Oh no, what am I going to do?"
she asked.
"Run away and never return!"
"Okay,"
she said.
There it is.
That's it. And with that, she ran into the forest. The king ran next door and got the prince's wedding outfit and put it on.
Now for the best part.
Said
wait,
the king.
point of order.
Mm-hmm.
Prince's outfit? Like the prince lived next door and had like an outfit?
I think I meant the next room. Like
In
went
the
next
castle?
door in the castle.
Is the prince his son? Because if
No,
the
he
prince
doesn't
is his
have a
son.
son.
Wait,
that
but then where
means
did
the
this prince
princess's
outfit come from?
brother.
That's the question.
It's from when he was younger. He still has his young strapping prince clothes.
Oh,
And
he
he can
still
still
fits
fit
in
it.
Yes, he's
Ah.
buff.
Please, this
He is
king
That sounds like me.
buff.
That sounds like me.
No, it doesn't,
Now for the best part.
said the king. He ran into the forest after the princess.
I'm so tired of running.
Said the princess. She knew she had to be careful because a pack of wolves had been spotted yesterday.
Thank
She
you.
started a fire and started crying.
I'm lost and alone. That was my cry.
That was really good. When you're out on the lawn at night and there are dewdrops all over the grass, and even the small snap of a twig can make you jump, is the feeling the princess had right now.
I
That's my favorite
love it. Such descriptive. Now I appear to the jerk, and we will get to know each other, and then we marry. I take off my outfit, and whoa! I say, ha!
All of a sudden, a growling noise could be heard.
Oh no!
Said the princess.
I'm being attacked by a wolf!
Descriptive, it's moving the plot
Yes.
along. Then out of the bushes came the biggest wolf with the biggest teeth, and boy, did he look hungry.
Nope, I'm not worrying about her. Just let her be torn to shreds and all the blood and gore and lots more.
Said the king. But then the voice came back in his head.
You blundering fool, the princess dies, your plan won't work!
So the king jumped out and grabbed the princess just before the wolf ate her butt off.
Thank you, Prince!
Said the princess.
Prince Barnabas?
Said the king.
Oh, so your brother was the great taco tomboy, no said Roomba, Cario, bear, raceway, pimp, perky, bimbo.
Okay, this must have been after I read that book, how does it go?
Yeah.
Ricky Tikki Tembo,
Tambo,
no Sir
Rimbo.
Rimbo. He had never in the world heard such a bizarre name.
Oh, and your sister's name was Fuddle Outlaw, Acne Cuddle Tam, Boatman Boa Ski-Doo, and Dayton Woe Die and Chew.
The king nodded his head.
Mm.
They took hands. They took hands and walked down by a stream.
I need to go to the bathroom.
Said the king.
Hold it!
Oh!
At first I thought she was like, hold it! And I thought
Oh,
she
that
was gonna
something's
like,
about to happen.
yes, and I thought she was like hearing like the wolves come
Nope,
back.
but she's
Or
like,
maybe there was a bear.
she's like,
does
hold
not
it,
want
tie
to
your
pee.
fucking bladder in a knot, is what she's saying.
The king ran into the bushes. I presume he just didn't listen. He just had to go.
Well, he couldn't listen, right? When you have to go, you
I
have
mean,
to go.
those
Was a Felicia
sang the king.
Right? Wait,
Mine.
where did you hear that song?
Asked the princess.
Well, I heard it from a fish named Ake.
Then they went to bed. The king accidentally fell into a ditch.
Mommy!
Said the king, sucking his thumb.
Now, I like this part because my favorite cartoon growing up was Robin Hood, the Disney version.
Oh.
And in that, the what is the bad king's name? Prince
Louis?
No, Prince John.
Prince John.
John.
He'd always suck his thumb and be like,
The lion.
Mommy.
That's probably where I got it from.
Mommy.
In the morning, the princess found the king in the ditch and said,
Whoa, baby.
and she told the king he was going to be okay.
Yeah, right.
Said the king. The princess ran to the castle to get the queen. When she got there, the queen was knitting.
Hello? Are you the person that cleans windows?
So now here's the question. Why doesn't the queen recognize her own daughter?
I was thinking about this. I have to admit, that was a question I had when I was doing my deep...
Well, let's just pretend
research
like
and
she's
script
just
analysis.
like dirty. Like the queen wouldn't recognize her.
Gross.
No, we need to get a prince out of a ditch,
Said the princess.
Do I know you?
Asked the queen.
No, I'm Miss Lobsterhead the First. Oh, come on in and have some drink.
Offered the queen.
But I...
Started the princess. The princess was forced into having food and drink.
Oh.
That's a problem I have
That's
a
a
lot.
major
Yeah.
issue.
At 5 p.m., the princess told her whole story. At 5.
Mm-hmm.
At 5.
So what time did she show up?
I don't know.
Oh.
Before 5.
Got it.
The queen said afterwards,
Good heavens! Why didn't you say so?
the princess sighed. They ran out of the castle. Then they came to the ditch. They fetched the king out in no time.
He's still there.
Yeah, he couldn't somehow get out of
But
this
somehow
this
now
ditch.
they can get him out of there.
So he couldn't get out by himself, but a woman and a small child could
They
get him
can,
out.
together.
They got
I mean, I think
Together.
we've established that this king's a real loser, you guys.
He is-
Yeah, and those two are real fucking winners, right?
The king said,
Come on. Look how thin I am. Get me... Oh, sorry. I should read it like it's written. Come on, look how thin I am. Get me some apples from that tree.
the queen refused, but the princess said,
Are you strong?
Strong enough.
Good. I stand on your feet and you lift me up.
I don't
said the
know about
princess.
that, man.
And then when
Oh.
I have all the apples, I give them to the queen, and then you let go of me, and I fall, but you catch me in your arms.
Brilliant.
let me tell you where this part came
What
from.
a genius plan.
This part came from when I went to a Ohio State volleyball game and the cheerleaders were standing on the guy's arms and then
Yes.
they throw them and they catch them. So the king walked over to the tree with the princess. He lifted her up and she got 22 apples, then tossed them down to the queen,
It's a specific number.
who put them in a bucket. And then the king threw her up in the air and caught her,
Whoa, that was fun!
yelled the princess. By now the king was really weak. First, he had to stay in a ditch.
Yeah, we have to recount here. This is what I like. You give
Rewind.
like a quick recount.
First, he had to stay in a ditch and was fighting to get out. And now he had to lift someone. The princess and the gang sat down and ate some apples. Then they set off for the hospital. And that, my friends, is where we're going to stop part 1.
I'm into it.
Do we think that Princess Coleslaw is going to make it out there in the world?
Well, here's the thing. No. But
No.
but the world as we know it is not the world of
That's
the
true.
Princess Coleslaw. So how can we say?
I feel like she got a king out of the ditch. She got
That's
22
true.
of those apples out of that tree,
22.
and she
did
knew.
a bunch of shit.
Yeah, and she knew that.
She did a bunch of shit.
She's kind of a role model. She's kind of like a modern day Bella from Twilight.
Yeah, except better.
Also, Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, that's true. The king is kind of the beast in this metaphor.
Or also, he's kind of like the Trump in this world.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, I can see that.
And Princess Coleslaw is the rest of us.
Thank you all so much for joining us. I hope you really enjoyed this first part. There's a lot of really exciting adventures to come.